Hiya guys, hello and welcome to Inceptor Gaming. First of all, very Merry Christmas to everybody. Sorry I've been so busy for such a long time. I do have things going on in my own life as well, and my own other businesses and things I'm working on. But here I am, it is Christmas Day, and I have actually gone to the effort of making a video here today on Christmas Day. Thank you and welcome. If you're new to my channel, give me a like, click subscribe, put in the comments about any sort of games you like to play and any ideas or suggestions you have for me and my channel. Okay then guys, so let's get into the game review. This is a review of Uboat version B131. I did unfortunately miss out B130 because 131 did come out quite quickly. Now then guys, to my critics, to my haters, I want to say this is a review. That means I look at all aspects of a game, both good and bad, and comment on them accordingly. So therefore I praise good aspects, I critique bad aspects. As I said, bad aspects include things like loading times. This game has a bad loading time, I do include it. Okay, I've been critiqued on that many times before, but that is why. When I do walkthrough videos of other games I play, those games I cut out loading times. I do as much editorial stuff as I feel necessary to trim the game time down and everything to a more manageable piece of work, you know. But like I say, this is a review, not a walkthrough. So then guys, today I'm going to play the game on overall medium difficulty settings. I'm also increasing here the realism to about 81% because I do like quite a realistic experience. And guys, I'm also no stranger to subsync games, been playing them for over 20 years. I do know what I expect from a supposedly simulation game. And this game, in my view, is starting to get somewhere kind of there, which I am actually genuinely pleased and impressed about, you know. I have had my doubts over this game in the past. You know, the game has been out now for more than 2.5 years. In my view, what I've seen recently, it's starting to get to quite a good place. Still got some work to go, but hey, I'm glad to see it is improving. And as I've said all along, and this goes especially to my critics, I do genuinely want this game to succeed and do well. I do genuinely want this game to be one of the best U-boat simulators of all time, but it does slowly seem to be gradually edging its way there. So that I am very happy about. And also guys, for those of you who critique me for leaving in loaded times or for the things I pick up on, you're more than welcome to leave your comments, but also even better would be for you to back it up by creating your own YouTube channels, making your own content, step up to the plate and see just how difficult it is to make your own content. You're more than welcome to do that anytime you like guys. But anyway, I'm not here for that reason. Let's get into the game review, shall we? And as I said about loading times, here we go. Bit of a loading time issue. My specs on my system is about mid-range. Most people who play computers will have average to mid-range specs. I'm one of those. You know, we don't all have tons of money. I do have, you know, career, life, business, etc. outside of YouTube. I do have other areas I need to focus my money on. Unfortunately, I can't focus it all on YouTube. I wish I could. I would love to. But no, I have an average machine because that is all I can currently afford. And most of my people who review my channel are also going to have average systems. So, getting into our main screen here. So we're starting off in the port. Got a usual nice little bit of intro there we've gone through as well. The graphics, as I've always picked up with this game, are absolutely beautiful. I love the graphics. So big tick on graphics. Graphics are awesome. I have never faulted those ever in my life, and I never will. So as I've always said, as I've always found a very positive, the overall details look beautiful. I do like that. So let's check out our stores. See if anything has changed on B131. Equipment, food, fuel. Okay, still need to fill up fuel, which is interesting. You know, a U-boat going on patrol would have maximum fuel on board already. Wouldn't need to buy any more for that, which is odd. Okay, so we can buy weapons still at 7,500 for a carbine rifle. Also, as well, guys, you know, boarding actions on ships wouldn't typically be done with full-length rifles. You know, submariners in particular, you know, space is limited. they would have had pistols and maybe some SMGs, you know, MP38s, MP40s. But yeah, they would not be going to sea with carbine rifles, and also they wouldn't be costing that much money either. The prices of these items are absolutely ridiculous. You know, this is 1941, and the rifles in particular are probably costing more than a combat rifle costs the army today in any country. Okay, bread. The bread appears to be new and is free, so I'll take some free bread, absolutely. So that is a good perk. Okay, I like that bit. Check out the ammunition. Still got room for extra torpedoes. Again, you know, you're going out on a combat patrol, you would be fully laden with torpedoes without having to buy any before you go. But okay, we'll buy one anyway. Also noticed they've seemed to have removed the Type 2 torpedoes, because there was an option originally, and certainly in B129 anyway, to buy the Type 1 torpedo. And Type 1 did exist at this point in the war as well. So deck gun ammunition here. Okay, so smoke shells. Only 5 shells? I know space is limited, but you would have more than 5 smokes available. Or star shells, sorry, not smokes, or star shells. 15 AP shells and 20 high explosive. Again, ammunition seems kind of limited, really, on that one. I'll add some AP shells, but like I say, yeah, you know, fuel is now maximum. Torpedoes being moved around. Food, I think I've got enough food for the patrol, so I'll leave that as that. Equipment, spare parts, again, very expensive, really, 750. Okay, so that's my money gone on spare parts. So I think something that needs to look at here, I think definitely, is the type of weapons you carry on board. Bearing in mind, you are at war, so you will have a storage, a weapons locker or lockers on board your U-boat at all times anyway, and it will be full. You won't be buying weapons, they'll already be there, and your weapons will be pistols and SMGs. So go into our map screen. Okay, so here's the little old offensive showing the Black Pit, which is an interesting name. Okay, as I said before on B129, I do like this little intro. That looks quite cool, quite interesting. Okay, a little bit of info on the map there as well. Yeah. I do like the way they show, you know, about engaging in a wolf pack. So you can go to that area, engage in the battle that way. Okay. So we've still got the attack on Scapa Flow available, which I will do again. See if there's any improvement from the last time that I did that. And also those guys, for those of you who critiqued me before on my previous video, B129, about the sinking, or rather lack of sinking, of HMS Royal Oak. As I said before, attack on Scapa Flow is actually based on the real world mission, which did happen in 1939, not 1941, of Royal Oak, when she was successfully sunk by 4 torpedoes, and Royal Oak sank when she listed to an angle of a mere 45 degrees, not completely on her side as she did on the previous video I played. So that is a little comment there for my critiques, for the people who critique me. And yeah, the back end of the U-boat still looks absolutely terrible. Look at that. That is, yeah, that is absolutely poor. So the guys who modelled that still clearly haven't taken a look at U995, which is a real life Type 7 U-boat, which is available to view online, and also is a real life museum you can go to in Germany. So those of you guys who modelled the game, please do something about the stern of this U-boat, please, because you know that is terrible. Right, so I've added a couple more sailors to my crew. It's interesting that we can still only have 18 sailors on board the ship. I can't remember off the top of my head how many sailors a real U-boat had, but it was considerably more than that. Working in like 3 shifts, or 2 shifts, sorry. Okay, so just having a look at the task management, crew management. I believe this is the expanded version. I noticed here as well, it's nice that you can assign different jobs, so you can unassign them, or you can set them as a chief mechanic, a watch officer, radio officer. You can swap some of their jobs around, which then changes their priorities and what they're working on. So priority 10 appears to be like the maximum priority they have, going down accordingly to like 0 or 1 or whatever. See if we can add in. Okay, it's not letting me add in the priority on this guy for the repairs. Okay, there we go. Repairs, give that him repairs of 7, yeah. Okay, but he can't do... Oh, yeah, he can. So you do... Yeah. I'll change his torpedo management. Okay. Change him to mechanic instead of chief engineer. Okay, so it's good that you can sort the different jobs around, which then affects their priority, I suppose, on different tasks. But also I like the fact as well that you can manually change some of those around. So that is a good point. I do like that. For those of you like me who played the... Silent Hunter games previously, this kind of feature didn't exist before, but you could also still have a crew management system, albeit a bit less detailed, but you did also get to manage an entire complement of crew, not just a mere 18 staff in total. It was the entire crew's company you did get to sort of play around with. Okay, so evening shift priorities. Okay, so you can adjust the different priorities for the shifts, which will probably be for the enlisted sailors. Squads, okay. I'll assign 2 sailors to each of my officers. I noticed as well though, there's still no distinction on the game between sailors, officers and NCOs. There would also be NCOs on board as well, so the NCOs are not represented. You've got, by the looks of it, just sailors and officers. So, guys, you're dropping the ball here. You need to include NCOs as well. NCOs would have had important tasks like radio operator and so on, and also would have had other jobs on board the boat. Like bosun, for example, would be an NCO. He wouldn't be an officer. So I do appreciate some of the attempts at realism on the game, but also some of the actual realistic aspects are seriously lacking still. But in particular, crew numbers. But I do like the aspect where you can change some of the crew priorities, so that officer priorities, not crew priorities. Radio officer, right? Need to adjust that. As I said, like a radio officer wouldn't actually be an officer as such. He would be a sailor or maybe an NCO. He wouldn't be an officer. Okay, so change him to technician officer. He changes his priority. Okay, so technician officer as a priority of the sonar, as opposed to the radio. Okay, that's interesting. I'm going to set my bosun, I think, to have some time on the radio, maybe. If the game will let me adjust that skill for him. Also as well, so I noticed then when I clicked gunner for him, that was an interesting position. So his gun was basically man the guns, but nothing else as well. Okay, so let's move on from that screen then. Time to plot our course. I know when I did B129, there was an issue, and there still is an issue with the plotting. Look at this. Because, I mean, it looks quite nice, the plotting initially. So leaving port, yeah, okay. That's all seems to be quite nicely worked out. That's all good. Yeah, coming on the coast of France, coast of England, past Northern Ireland, into into that area there, past Liverpool, and look, apparently I'm going to travel straight up through the middle of Scotland, literally through the land. So that's still a major problem. So that's definitely got to be fixed, because that's impossible. Unless the developers seem to think we have like a Panama Canal type arrangement that cuts through Scotland, which we certainly do not. Schneller, schneller, still the German command, according to this game, for starting the U-boat. It's no, guys, unrealistic. I'm sorry, please correct that. You know, I said it many times before now. Schneller, schneller would not be a command in that context. It would just be ahead slow, ahead standard, ahead 1/3, something of that nature. It would be a proper definitive command, not just schneller, schneller, like we're in danger, go, go, go. No, guys, wrong, please. You're supposed to be about realism, so let's have some realism. Thank you. Come on. Okay, so moving past that glaring issue, which is still evident. Let's move on. Okay, still getting detection reports of things I don't really need to focus on, i.e. my fellow U-boats coming back the other way. So my mechanic guy is doing what he does, continuously working torpedoes. Again, I don't think he would continuously remove a torpedo, work on it and stick it back in, not every single time. You know, not all day, all night, sleep, get up, do a torpedo. He'd have a various other jobs to do, you know. And also as well, I doubt an officer would be directly doing manual work on torpedoes like that, unless maybe there's some kind of emergency, you know, because that day that was a menial kind of job. So under normal circumstances where you're not under attack, you know, there'd be ordinary sailors probably under the direction of an NCO doing that job. And for those of you who don't know anything about the military life, there is a vast distinction between an ordinary sailor, an NCO and an officer. So for example, you know, if you would call, say, an NCO an officer, he would rip your guts out and tear you a new one, you know, because he would be like, I am not an officer. I am a chief, or I am a petty officer, or, you know, whatever his exact specific NCO rank is. You know, there were distinction among themselves. Oh, this is good. Okay. Enemy ship contacts. Okay, this is the first time on this game I've encountered enemy ships on transit to my location. So that's good. Okay. So, best course of action is to dive. So I'm going to go with crash dive here. And then reset my depth after I'm under the waves to periscope depth. Increase speed. Again, schneller, schneller. Again, completely incorrect. Also, guys, as well, there's been an alert, i.e. enemy warships on the horizon or spotted. And 4 of my officers, including my captain, myself, are called to this as having a rest. No way, this would not be a restful situation. It would be, right, enemy spotted, all hands, action stations, in case we need to do something. Again, guys, please, this aspect, sleeping crew, going into a potentially dangerous situation. Nobody's resting, nobody's asleep. Please put the realism in this game. You know, you're claiming this game to be realistic, so please, let's have some realism. Okay, so reset depth now to periscope, yeah. Because I do not want to collide with the bottom. I'm in shallow water.
20 Meter.
So just reset my depth there.
Auf Seerohrtiefe.
Okay, so, and also again, one of my officers seems to be just randomly cooking. I mean, okay, yeah, maybe the guy likes to cook or whatever, but he wouldn't be cooking under the circumstances. Like I say, we just had a bit of a potential contact with enemy coming up there, and you know, he's like frying some eggs or some bacon or whatever he's working on in the kitchen, in the galley, I should say. Kitchen is a galley on a ship, or on a boat. Just seeing if I can just some timing. It's interesting as well that the bosun, as part of his job, has got some time allocated just to playing cards, okay, or to, you know, just chilling out. Okay, that's something I've not noticed before. The sleep priority of crew members. I mean, why would crew members have a priority of 11 for sleep, which is above everything else? I mean, guys, you know, you're in war. Let's see if this will. It's not letting me adjust though. If I can adjust this somehow, hold on. Select. Ah, there we go. I mean, sleep isn't quite important. Don't get me wrong, but you know, 11. That's higher priority than everything else. No, highest priority should be, you know, running the boat. If I recall correctly, you know, submariners typically worked usually on a 6 hours on, 6 hours off basis. Okay, so alarm, yeah, destroyer's been spotted. Alarm bells are going up, and he's still cooking. No, you won't be cooking. Come on, there's more important things to do than cook when you're possibly about to get bombed or death charged. I mean, seriously, guys, please sort that one out, eh? You know, this is what makes me laugh as well, with the people who critique my comments about the game being realistic. Well, cooking under circumstances like that is not realistic. You know, if any of the guys who like to criticise me, critique me or whatever, no problem. But you're also welcome, and I invite you to show me evidence of things that happen in this game that you deem to be realistic, that actually did happen in real life and were part of normal U-boat warfare, or even just naval warfare overall. I challenge you, please, please, please show me evidence of your findings. You know, don't talk to a guy who has probably got more historical knowledge than a lot of you who critique me about the comments I make about what is or isn't realistic. You know, or if you do feel something I'm commenting on as not being realistic is false and I'm mistaken, okay, no problem, you're welcome to your view. Please back that up with evidence of your own of where I've got things wrong or where I've got things false in my comments, if that is the case. I'm always welcome to be corrected. If anybody can provide me with evidence of mistakes I may have made on a video or something I've done, no problem at all. Please drop down comments with evidence of how and where I'm wrong, no problem whatsoever. I'll look at that, and if I'm wrong, I will come back to the channel and I will happily say, oh, thank you X person for pointing out an error or mistake or I made somewhere on my video or my content, or something I thought was accurate that wasn't. By all means, please do that, but give me evidence to do so. Don't just critique me and say whatever. You know, guys, you want to talk facts, please give me evidence of facts and we'll have that discussion. So moving on, propellers detected. Okay, now it's night time, he's going the other way, so I'm hoping I can sneak past. Yep, okie dokie.
Schiffsschrauben, Herr Galoy. Tauchen auf 50 Meter.
Okay, I'm going to increase my depth there. And also by dropping my depth as well, it will lower, or should lower my periscopes. Again as well, that's something
20
that is not
Meter.
accurate. When travelling at periscope depth, you do not constantly have your periscopes up. You only have them up when you actually need them to be up. So maybe there should be a command for you to, you know, manually raise or lower them as and when you want at all times. But like I say, you won't be just travelling along with your periscopes up. They're prone to damage at any point in time, you know, for no reason. They're just exposed on the surface, you know what I mean?
Auf Seerotiefe geht's 20 Meter.
Okay, I've gone to periscope depth again. I'm considering heading on the surface now as well, because otherwise I don't want to just drain my batteries, and also I will want to improve my air quality at some point as well, because air quality does decrease when you're submerged and burned up. Okay, ship spotted. I do like the fact that you can you know, send off radio reports of things you've spotted, things you've encountered. Although to be fair,
Ich muss mich ausruhen.
especially in wartime, this is 1941. The war has been raging for 2 years already. This is not new in the war, so I doubt you would be actually realistically sending radio reports at every possible opportunity, because they would be intercepted. Again, a big feature I've always enjoyed on this game is the map screen, the way you just zoom right in to see the actual vessels. Details of the U-boat, apart from the stern, are good. And also, so far, from what I can tell, details of other ships are also very, very good. So that is a good positive point that I do like, do enjoy quite a lot. Okay, time to surface the boat, travel the surface a bit faster, replace my air quality.
Wechseln auf Dieselmotor.
Okay, low air reserves. Okay, that's interesting. So my compressed air reserves are low apparently when they were saying they were over 90 odd percent. Well, again, you know, realism. I do like the fact that your compressed air does get used, which it would do when you're low, you know, surfacing and submerging the boat and so on and so forth. But telling me my reserves are low when they're already at 90 odd percent is not really accurate. Although, of course, I will take care of that. I will get one of my guys to activate the compressor to improve the air reserves. Oh, ship spotted again, or smoke spotted on the horizon.
Ich muss mich ausruhen.
Crew to me, I need to take a break. Well, I'm sorry, guys. You know, you wouldn't just be taking breaks as and when you want. When you're, you know, spotting enemy contacts in the distance, you'll be on high alert. You know, in the day, a U-boat can be a very potent vessel when it has the element of surprise. But also, when it doesn't have the element of surprise, it's actually a very weak vessel and is easily destroyed.
So müde.
To coin an old phrase, the hunter can very easily become the hunted with a U-boat. And that is a true fact. Even with modern submarines today, which are much larger, much more capable, much more devastating than most warships afloat, they can still easily become hunted and on the run from surface contacts. Although they are better at hiding now, and they are a lot more formidable than they used to be in World War II. But, you know, certainly World War II, U-boats were not really the most seaworthy vessel to go to war in, to be honest. They were basically small surface vessels that could submerge for some of the time and had to run most of the time on the surface.
Melde mich zum Dienst.
Okay, spotting smuggling. Okay, so there we go. So again, you know, on the realism front, captain shouted alarm, you know, enemy contact, and one of my officers asleep. Sorry guys, not realistic, come on.
Im Dienst.
And now the guy who was asleep, he's decided to go cooking. So there's enemy warship in the not too distant area from my position, and you know, you guys going to just, I'm just going to cook a bit of food here, you know, bit hungry. Let's get some bratwurst on or whatever we've got on board for our crew. Okay, I forgot earlier to start the diesel compressor, which I'm going to do now. Replenish the air. We'll replenish the compressed air, which will recharge our ballast tanks. Okay, compressed air is going up. The officer's still cooking. Also, I've noticed as well in the galley, someone seems to be cooking continuously, which, yeah, I don't think that'd be accurate. You know, there'll be set times, I'm sure, when there is food being prepared, but not constantly 24 hours a day like that. Okay, now my chef is actually doing his real job and navigating, which is good. Navigating is always better than just cooking. You would have other sailors on board to do that under a petty officer, or maybe under a chief, basically an NCO, not an officer. Okay, our mechanic is just doing his thing with the torpedoes again. Excellent, right. All ships in the vicinity, yeah. I do like the fact though you can change the time compression value, so you do have time compression when there's stuff in the area, but a bit, you know, but you can go to a higher time compression when you're in a safe condition. But interesting, as I say, here we know, alarm condition. I've got one officer cooking. I've got another officer asleep. Well, it's not an alarm condition. I'm sorry if you know, one guy's cooking some food and the other guy's having to lie down. You know, that doesn't constitute an alarm. Alarm condition is everybody is up, awake, doing something in a position or whatever, you know, but nobody just lounging around sleeping. Everybody is active. Ooh, autosave features kicked in, which is good. Didn't used to be an autosave, so that's a very nice improvement.
Zeit für eine Pause. Zeit für eine Pause. Im Dienst. Im Dienst.
Okay, yeah, maximum time compression now, brilliant.
Melde mich zum Dienst. Puh, so müde. Puh, so müde.
Okay, so contact was another vessel of mine coming the other way, brilliant.
Melde mich zum Dienst.
Send off the radio report.
Melde mich
I mean, I do like the fact you can send off the radio reports, you know, as and when you want. That is kind of good, but like I say, I don't think you'd send the radio reports off this often. You would just be making a log in your captain's logbook.
Im Dienst. Im Dienst. Zeit für eine Pause. So
I mean, now it's time for resting for sure, you know, when the crew
melde
is,
mich zum Dienst.
you know, just on transit, there's no emergency, there's no alarm condition. But like I say, whenever there's an alarm condition, every member of the crew will be up, awake, at a station, in a position ready to act in some way, shape or form.
So müde.
Nobody will be having a lie down.
Melde mich zum Dienst.
There'll be crew ready to fight fires, deal with flooding. You know, somebody will be always alert to ready to do something. Nobody will be having a sleep during an alarm.
Im
Okay, let's
Dienst.
try and sneak into Scapa.
So müde. Im Dienst.
I'm just contemplating whether or not I turn off the gyro compass. So reduces chance to get lost by 60%, but obviously the more systems you have running on your boat, the more likely you are to be detected as well. So I'll keep it going. Hopefully I won't get detected on my run in.
Zeit für eine Pause.
At least it's night time, so it is dark. And U-boats do present small targets on the surface at night as well, so less likely to be spotted. Although as the war progressed, with radar detection abilities and so on, it became less likely for a U-boat to be able to survive on the surface. So water here is pretty shallow, I would imagine. Especially if I'm trying to stay quite close to the land. Also as well, if I stay quite close to the landmass there, nothing will be able to come at me from the port side. That's partly why I'm planning to do that. Okay, that was interesting. So something showed up on my map there on the starboard. A little brownish reddish colour, but disappeared when I zoomed in to have a look at it. Okay, no idea what that was. Maybe just some little glitch or some strange. There it is again. Okay, let's have a look. Is that a fortification or something? No. Okay, I zoom in, it disappears. I thought maybe there'd be some kind of like, you know, fortification or something of interest just to look at for a moment, but no such luck. So again, can send a radio port, which is good, you know, improves my renown. But as I say, now I'm sneaking into Scapa. Lots of enemy around. As I say, the war is not new. It's been raging for over 2 years. So sending off radio signals to be intercepted by your enemy. Bear in mind, radio signals will be intercepted. Is not a good idea, but what the hell? I thought I'd do it anyway. So there's funnel smoke in the distance, right? It's still night time though, so that's good. Okay. So I've got the notifications there, which is slightly obscured by the clock. So that's something that the team need to work out, because, you know, you've got the clock there obscuring some of the information items. Let's do a little bit of time compression. Okay, Sank Royal Oak, yep, okay, so that is basically based on the real world sinking of Royal Oak, which happened in 1939, right in the very early part of the war. Although now I've got this opportunity to do it in 1941, right. Smoke as well coming from the diesels, that is, that's interesting, that's new. But again, like I say, I've got crew just lounging around relaxing. That wouldn't be happening, you know. Coming into coming into position now to make an attack. So all my crew will be awake, active, at stations, in positions, all ready to do something. Nobody will be resting right now. Everybody will be up and alert, prepared for the attack. So, you know, as I say, guys, I do love sub-sims. Been playing them for over 20 years. So please include the realism, which a lot of people who negatively comment or critique my channel don't seem to pick up on, or don't seem to understand what is and what isn't realistic. There's still a lot in this game. As good as it's getting, and it is getting good, I will say it is improving. It is definitely improving. But there's a lot in this game that is still not quite realistic yet. Okay, so the attack periscope is being blocked by the observation scope. So it would appear that one of my ordinary sailors is more than likely using the observation scope at the moment. Oh no, it's not being used at all. But somehow my attack scope view is blocked. Okay, that's kind of random. Yeah, a bit of a glitch there, right. Not being detected yet though, which is good, so let's just sneak in here. Again, crew sleeping on the job when, you know, in a potentially precarious position coming up. Oh dear. Oh no, I thought I'd grounded the boat. Oh, I think I have actually. So now I can raise my scope to look at my target. Okie dokie. Oh no, I've not grounded, but I think I've come close to it. Definitely very shallow water though. Well, the water gets much shallower. I'll be visible for all to see. So, yeah. Let's hope it doesn't get any shallower than this. So we're close. There's targets nearby. Okay.
Torpedokurs berechnen.
Okay, so he's doing a torpedo solution on the target, Royal Oak. Just going to hide my scope. I don't want to up all the time. He's seen where the target is. Okay, so again on the unrealistic front, there's still the option there to have my sonar operator do a solution to target. As I've said before, in World War II this was not possible. You know, you had to visually see the target with your eyes to work out speed, distance, you know, angle on bow and so on, and various other factors that simply the sonar operator couldn't gauge. You know, the sonar operator would be able to work out the approximate position and approximate distance, but that was it. Without seeing the target visually, he wouldn't be able to give an exact fix on the position. He wouldn't be able to gauge the exact distance or anything. Wouldn't be able to work out the exact target speed. He might have a general idea, but you know, his abilities for target solution was basically none in World War II. In later years during the Cold War, fine. Sonar do produce, can send information to target motion analysis for calculation, But in World War II, this was not possible. See, my view range is creeping in closer. Again, I've got officers going to bed, having a sleep. You know, guys, I'm about to imminently sink a large warship and have probably half the Royal Navy in the area bearing down on me.
Zeit für eine
Alarm!
Pause.
All you take your positions. My captain, me, shouting alarm to your positions. What's he doing? He's having a rest. Why? No! I mean, it's good, I suppose, that you can manually, you know, kick them out of bed, but you shouldn't have to. That's not realistic. You wouldn't be kicking them out of bed at this point in time. We're about to do what we've been trained for.
Kapitän,
Sink a large enemy target and get out of dodge if we can. Okay, so now my captain is finally on the attack periscope, doing his job again. Which means he's got to restart their firing solution because he walked away and went to sleep. Really? No, guys, come on. It's a stationary target, so his solution shouldn't be taking that long, really. I know it could take a while, but it's a stationary target. He knows what the target is. He'll have a reference book there as well, telling him the how, you know, all the stats of the vessel. Just close in, get a bit of a closer view of it, closer shot. So my notifications panel on the right hand side there, still partly obscured by the clock. So I think that needs to be adjusted by the devs, just moved over, rearranged slightly somehow. Okay, going to stop. I think I'm closer to the target. Okay, so the map screen again, you know, love the map screen when you can zoom right in like this. Observation scope up just in front of me. No need, it wouldn't be. So I'm going to help the captain along here by doing my own analysis, because it is a stationary target, so it's not hard to work out. Just locates the reference book. Also, the reference book does highlight there's still quite a limited amount of vessels in the game here. So it's a Nelson, which we have. Velocity we know is 0 because it is stationary. Oops, I'm going to input it correctly. Okay. Course. I'm going to take the course as accurate. Distance I'll need to work out, because my captain's taking a bit longer that. Three cables? No, it's not quite 3 cables, although it's looking a bit obscure here, so just make sure I make my adjustment correctly. Let's readjust my scope position here as well. Just get a clear indication, because the bottom of the overlaid C was supposed to put on the top of the mast, of the highest mast of the ship, and that should give a estimation of distance. As I said, that's partly why as well in World War II sonar operators couldn't work out firing solutions. The information from the sonar wasn't good enough. It's 4 cables away, which seems about correct. Course I'm going to go with as accurate because I can't really see it too clearly, and it's also what's been given to me. But then looking at this here as well, angle on bow 97.6 degrees. Yeah, that's probably pretty accurate. So I'll go with that. Okay, firing solution calculated.
Rohr 1, bewässern. Rohr 2,
Although my
bewässern.
tubes would already be closed, they wouldn't be open like that.
Rohr 4, bewässern.
Rohr 1 bewässert. Rohr 2 fertig. Rohr 3 bewässert. Rohr 4 fertig.
Los!
Okay, torpedoes away. Low air reserves? No, they're not low when I'm still on 97%. Obviously they're going down because the compressed air is used to fire the torpedoes, which is good. But low air reserves when they're still in the 90s, that's not low, guys. So accuracy, please. Sort it out. 4 torpedoes on the way. Look like they're going to hit. Okay, observation scope still in the air. It wouldn't be, no need.
Treffer.
Okay, one's hit, brilliant.
Schwere Schäden am Rumpf. Treffer.
Second one's hit, brilliant.
Minimale Schäden. Treffer.
Another hit, okay, cool.
Schwere Schäden am Rumpf. Treffer. Schwere Schäden am
Okay,
Rumpf.
so it looks like all my torpedoes have hit. So let's zoom into the map. Yeah, oh, look at that nice big hole on the side of Royal Oak there, brilliant. That's what I like to see. She is going down, she's going down fast by the looks of it. Okay guys, so starboard side portholes already in the water. Also guys, one thing I need to point out, those of you who criticised me previously on my previous video for when Royal Oak didn't sink despite being completely on its side in the water. The real HMS Royal Oak sank at an angle of only 45 degrees.
Jawohl.
So we can set the radio message, but probably says it's been hit torpedoed. The reason why Royal Oak sank at 45 degrees only was because the starboard portholes that you can see here, which are all mostly below the waterline, flooded when the ship rolled over. Because the portholes, you know, they're there to so the crew can see out of the ship obviously, but they're not there to withstand the ingress of water when the ship is rolling over to the side like that, you know. They'll prevent the sea being splashed into the ship or whatever if the portholes are closed. But you know, the ship is now rolling over. She's taken on an awful lot of water, so let's see if she will sink with these 4 torpedoes, which is enough because look, she's already down quite a lot. All of her starboard turrets are in the water as well. The secondaries are in the water. Okay, so according to this, she still has some health or some hit points. So that, guys, is proving to be the problem here. The problem of the game at this point, Nelson, in real life terms, is done for. Completely done. She's taken on too much water now to be refloated. The only way she can go is down to the bottom. You know, she can't survive that at all. She's still rolling as well. So the crew would all be abandoning the ship at this point because, like I say, that is past the point of no return. And anyone who tells me a ship listed this much and with this much of her in the water is not beyond the point of return or is not sunk, I'm sorry guys, anyone who says a ship in this condition is not sunk has no idea what they're talking about. This ship is done for. There's no other way about it. You know, also as well, due to her size, her weight, and also, you know, there is still flooding going on inside her, pulling her down heavier and heavier and heavier all the time. But looking at this, she's still got health. So that's incorrect. I'm going to fire off another tube. Hopefully that will finish the job. But in real life, she sank with 4 torpedoes, rolled to 45 degrees, like she has here. She's probably at a bit more than 45 degrees currently, and then she got dragged below the waves. So yeah, this ship now would already be done for. Well, she is done for. There's no coming back. And she's still rolling over.
Los!
So I've let my final torpedo go without adjusting my solution. I don't need to. She's still rolling, still rolling, still rolling. But yeah, I mean, at this point, I should already have the mission complete message, because look, you know, there's no coming back from this. She's rolling completely to her side. But the issue seems to be in the game setup with the health situation. She still seems to have health. Therefore, I'm not getting the the message that she's killed. But yes, realistically, she is dead already. Maybe this will be the coup de grace, the final blow. Okay, so one more hit there, right in the top of B turret. Now, was this enough to consider it game over for this ship? Okay, flooding's increased significantly, although, you know, that shouldn't make any difference whatsoever by this point. She's already done for. Okay, a little bit shaky. Oh, okay, finally. All right, so it took 5 torpedoes. I've now had the message that she is sunk. Okay, which she technically already was before, but anyway, okay, not to worry. So it's now part 2 to get myself out of here, basically. Because the whole Royal Navy now in the area will be bearing down on me, wondering what's going on with the Royal Oak. They will know she's been torpedoed. As I say, the war has been raging for 2 years. This is not new in the war. So there will be lots of vessels coming down on me anytime soon. Schneller, schneller. I must admit, I am finding the game a lot more enjoyable than I used to. Now things are definitely improving, but there's still a lot wrong with it in terms of realism. It's a long way short of being realistic. Okay, so there's some wreckage in the water being logged. Brilliant, okay. So the game is confirming she's definitely dead, what she already technically was, but anyway. Okay, so he's still on the periscope. No need to be. It is tiny construct again. I've just also as well, guys. Sorry, I forgot to mention earlier. Due to the fact it is Christmas Day, the devs have actually included a Christmas tree, which is a nice touch. I do like that, to be fair. So one of my sailors is on the observation scope. He wouldn't be, you know, typically only the captain or the XO would really use the scopes mostly. Not my average sailors. Time to get out of here. I've increased speed as well. Need to turn about.
Rohr 3 geladen. Feindlicher Zerstörer auf. 9 Uhr.
Okay, let's slip away. Brilliant. So far, so good. Right. Captain's navigating. Oh, okay. What's happened there? One of my officers has... Oh, okay, I've grounded myself. My fault, yeah. I'm in too shallow water. Right, let's address that. If I remember correctly, the radio officer apparently is trained in medical skills. So let's get him on the case. Although, to be fair, there would have been more than one medic on board in those days. But this is, like I say, an unrealistic U-boat with only 18 crew on board, when there was a lot more crew on a U-boat than 18, especially on a Type 7. Even a Type 2, I think, had something like 29 crew members or more. I can't remember, but yeah. Type 7, Yeah, had a lot more than 18 crew.
Wechseln auf Dieselmotor.
Okay, making the surface quite nicely. Nothing has spotted us. Nothing bearing down, which is good. Okay, so he's being led to a bunk by a helpful sailor. Brilliant. Well, let's get my medical trained person on the case. It's not him then, I don't think. No.
Kapitän. Herr Kaloy. Zu Befehl.
Oh, okay, so he's the medic, right? Okay, fine. But again, like I say, if he's the only medic on board as well, like, he wouldn't be just resting when there's been an emergency of a crew member's been badly injured. You know? Again, guys, you know, the game is definitely getting better. It's becoming more enjoyable for me, but the realism is still seriously lacking. And, you know, you're supposed to be realistic. You're far from it so far, guys. So far from realism. As I say, there'll be more than one medical trained personnel on board anyway, just because what happens to your medic if your medic's injured? You know, there's nobody to heal him or help him out. So there'll be more than one medic. You probably only have one doctor, but you would have more than one medic. So yeah, you'd have one doctor probably, but you would have a few medics as well. Okay, let's get out as quick as we can though. At least I healed my crew member, which is good. So he's up and about again now. I'll do maximum speed, get out as quick as we can. Port defences may be near, brilliant. Although I didn't spot any previously, so...
Kurs setzen. Legen Sie den Kurs an.
Okay, so mission completed, that's good. So we might as well reduce speed. Oh, okay. So I've got an option now where I can just head back to port, which I think will be good. So I can skip back to port. Okay, 3 days later I'm back in port. That's good. So that's a nice touch now as well, that you can skip back to port after a mission if you don't want to, you know, go through the rigmarole of avoiding patrols and so on the way back, which is definitely a bit of a step up from the Silent Hunter series, because Silent Hunter, you did your mission or whatever, sunk some ships, and you had to get yourself back home as well. So a nice little cutscene now, the boat coming back in. Okay, so one of my officers has acquired the Iron Cross second class. I've also received an Iron Cross second class. Okay, yeah. Nice bit of information there as well about the second cross, what it represented. Oh, German cross as well. Brilliant. Okay. And also a Knight's Cross. Okay. Okay, but I'm not just a bit short of getting a Knight's Cross with oak leaves. Okay. So campaign mission complete. That's brilliant. I'm very happy with that. Okay, so there we have it then, guys. Right, that's okay. So that's the end of a successful mission. Okay, so mission is complete. I've got a nice big load of renown I can spend now on upgrades to my boat and various other things. I do like the fact it's automatically saving as well at the end. Oh, okay. It couldn't save. Maybe a little bit of corruption there, something like that. Let's see if I can save this manually, if it will let me do that. Let's give that a go, shall we? Try a manual save, a new save. Okay, yeah, it did save. Right, okay. So, what can I say about B131 in conclusion? I can say, right, the game is definitely making progress. It is getting better. The game, for those of you who don't know, have been out since, I think it was the 19th of April 2019. That's correct. You know, well over 2.5 years ago. April 2022, it will be out for 3 years. Improvements are being made. I would say now I found the game playable, which is more than what I found previously, certainly in some of my earlier videos. It is definitely more enjoyable now as well. So yes, I did actually quite enjoy the playthrough, to be fair. Although, for a game, and I'm going to get criticised on this, I know I will, but for a game that emphasises realism, there's still a lot of elements and factors which are completely not realistic or true at all. So like, for example, the cost of small arms for the ship, you know, rifles. Well, for one thing, I doubt a U-boat would be carrying Kar 98 rifles because it's kind of hard to fight in a tiny tin can with a full-length battle rifle. Not really possible, especially when you're committing, boarding actions, boarding actions against other submarines, enemy submarines, and so on. You'd be fighting with pistols, submachine guns, something light and easily to manoeuvre in a tight space, not a full-length rifle. Also, as well, you know, crew still resting, sleeping in potentially life-threatening or emergency situations. Again, not realistic at all. Wouldn't have happened. You know, there was a point there where the captain, i.e. me, shouted, "Alarm! Something is happening," you know, from being in bed asleep. Didn't get up to go do anything about the action that we needed requiring. So, you know, still a lot of things to work out, but credit where it's due. The game is starting to get better. Bearing in mind as well, for the first year to 18 months that I personally had the game, it was literally unplayable. It was completely and utterly broken for me. Now, I've got a bit of interest to start playing it on a regular basis, which is something I've never had before. So it is growing on me. It is improving. I do hope this is going to become something really worth holding on to and really worth, being one of the best sub-sim games out there. It's got the potential still to be one of the best sub-sim games. It's a long way off from that yet. Some of the older titles are still there, but hey, it's getting better. Anyway, guys, that's enough from me. I hope you enjoyed the video overall. I hope you enjoyed my content, and I hope you enjoyed my content in general. And to guys, as I say, for those of you who are my haters, my detractors, well, you know what? You know what to do. Put your comments, back it up with evidence, and most importantly, make your own videos. Thank you.